Hey everyone, my name is Ronak back with another video. And now in this video, I'll be continuing my getting started with the ML playlist. Okay, so recently I decided to start with the ML because I felt there is a lot more to teach in that playlist. So far now we have completed around 17 videos and this is the 18th video. So in this video, we are going to learn how we can perform ETL, that is extract transform load, in the Python. So pandas is a well-known library for that, which helps you manipulate the data, pre-process the data according to your needs. So in order to get started, the first thing we will have to do is pip install pandas. Okay, PANDAS. And for me, it says requirement already satisfied because I've already installed it. So now we will start. So I will make a generic template for it in order to do that, and the way we do it, you'll come to know how we are going to do it. So first of all, this is the 18th video, so let me make a folder for it, 18th, and let's call it pandas. All right, so I'll just go to that, and now whatever I'll be doing is going to be in the Jupyter notebook. So you can also use VS Code if you want, but Jupyter is much more convenient because you can see the output line by line. So it is much more convenient, I would say, to use. So I'm going to refer the typical pandas documentation and we are going to look how to use pandas. So let me start it. So I'll say Jupyter notebook. And here we go. Okay, so this is my Jupyter, and now here I'll say new and Python 3. So I am actually making a new notebook, and here I'll say pandas. Okay, so pandas walkthrough. Okay, so this is a walkthrough video, I would say, where I will give you a glimpse of what really the pandas is. So I am actually using the standard documentation they have, so they actually call it a walkthrough in pandas. So what I'll do is I'll try to explain you some of the most important features that you are going to use in the series of the videos. So as we proceed further, you will come to know every single thing. Okay, so you only have to install pandas, like I told you, pip install pandas. So now first of all, let us start by importing NumPy, because we are going to require to make a set of, let's say, random values and everything. Okay, so after that I'll say import pandas as PD. Now why PD? Okay, so that is the naming convention that has been given. Okay, let me just zoom this up a bit. All right, so that is a convention that is given. So in order to run this cell, I'll say shift enter. Okay, so if you don't know Jupyter, I'll post a link in the description box below. You can go through it. Okay, so this pandas actually helps you create a single list and multiple list. Okay, so that multiple list is known as the data frame, which has multiple rows, multiple columns, and a series has multiple set of values. Okay, so series is a single columned value. Okay, so we will make our first basic series. So S is equal to PD, which is from pandas, and I'll say series. All right, and after that, in this I'll say let me put some values. All right, so 1 2 3 4 6 7. Okay, just random values. And now here I'll say S. Okay, so this is a series, this is a single column data. All right, we don't have much more dimensionality to it at the moment, but we will look at that. And later on we can work with the data frame. So in order to work with the data frame, what I'll do is I am going to use their standard example that they have been using. So I'll say dates. Okay, dates is a variable, and here I'll say PD, that is pandas, PD dot date underscore range. And in this I'm going to specify, let's say, today's date. So I'll say 2021, and let's say 6/9. All right, and here I'll say periods. So periods is basically the number of the values you want. So let us say 5. All right, and now when I say dates, I'll have sequential dates. Okay, so 2021, 6, 9, 10th of June, 11th of June, 12th of June, and 13th of June. So I have a set of 5 values which are arranged very efficiently. Now what I'm going to do is, now I'm actually going to make a data frame. So data frame is a collection of the data where you have a lot of columns and lot of rows. All right, basically lot of columns. So df is the convention that has been given commonly. So df stands for data frame. So I'll say pd dot data frame, and now here you will have to specify your data, but I am going to use this as index. Okay, so what is index? So if you have ever came across a database, you will come to know that there is a fixed primary column or primary valued key column which is fixed and is always different. Okay, so if you see over here, same date is never going to match in the rows. Okay, that is how I am trying to make it. So on 9th will be specific, 10th similarly, 11th, 12th and 13th. Okay, 13th of June 2021. So similarly, so what I'll do over here is np, that is the numpy, I'll say random dot rand n. Okay, random number, and here I can specify the number of rows. So the number of rows I have at the moment, I want it for 5 dates, so I'll say 5 comma, and let's say 4. Okay, 4 columns, 5 rows, 4 columns, and the index to these will be dates. All right, and I can also specify the column names. So columns I'll say is equal to list. The standard documentation is very good. All right, so if you want, you can do check that one. I'll also link that in the description box if I'm able to find that. And we have it. And now when I say df, I have my data frame. So this has random values, which are the 5 rows, 5 rows, 4 columns. All right, and the index that I have is dates, which is this one. All right, so these all are different. These are unique, basically. To be precise, they are unique, so they are never going to match. And the columns I have named them as A, B, C, D. So this is some of the things that you can perform. I can check their data types. So I'll say df dot d types, and I get float. Why float? Because all are decimal values. All right, so I get float 64. Apart from that, you can try to do a lot of things if you want. Okay, so there are actually many things that you can do in order to let's say work with the pandas. Okay, there are no limitations to it. Okay, so let's say here I have 5 values, but let's say if you have like a million values, okay, and you want to check the first few values, I'll say df.head. So it is always going to print the first 5 values, but at the moment we have let's say I want to check only 2. So I'll say df.head and I'll say 2. I'll just make some columns. All right. So now coming back to it. So similarly, I can say df.tail, which is going to help me print the last 2 values. Okay, so it is giving me the 13th and the 12th. So this one. Okay, so amongst the 5, I'm able to get the last columns. Okay, after that I can say df.index. So this is actually going to give me the index that we have. Okay, so this is always going to be pretty much unique. Similarly, I can say df.column. So there are a lot of methods. You can do data manipulation very easily. It is very much efficient. Okay, even I prefer it over SQL. That is my personal preference. All right, so if you are very good with the Python, you are never going to regret it. You don't have to learn a separate language for it. Okay, you can just use your intuition and your efforts on this one. This is very cool. So it is printing out all of the columns. Okay, so when I say df.columns, so after that I can convert this to a numpy array. All right, so I can say numpy like this, and I get all the values as the numpy. So the index blows off, the column names blows off, and I have all of the data in a form of numpy array. All right. After that, there is something known as df.describe. So this describe is actually going to give you a basic statistic of your entire data set. So it is going to give you the count of all the values. It is going to give you the mean, the standard deviation, the mean, the most minimum values that can be particularly found inside your data set. Why? Because see, 2.08 is bigger than 2.02. Okay, so this is the biggest value. I mean the lowest value, sorry. Then it gives you the 25%, 50% and 75% and also the max value. Okay, so we have all of it. After that you can do df.t. So this t is basically going to give you a transpose. All right, so now all of the columns have been shifted to the rows as index, and here you have the separate columns, the dates as your columns. Okay, so that is actually going to be pretty much cool. After that, you can what you can do is df dot, you can say sort, sort index, and here you can say axis is equal to 1. So it is axis is equal to 1 indicates, okay, so just forget it. Okay, this is not going to work. It only holds when you assign something or when you say in place is equal to true. All right, so this is only limited to this cell. All right, so the transpose is not there, we can assume like that. Okay, still the data set is in this format. All right, so now here, yeah, coming back to the point, so I can sort my index. So sorting the index, and we can say ascending is equal to false. All right, false, and we have it. Okay, so what it is going to do is it is going to sort all of the columns so the way they are. All right, so from positive to, let's say, it is going according to the way it wants. All right, so I'm sorting the index, basically I'm working with the index. Similarly, we can sort the values in a specific column. So what I can do is I can say sort underscore values and by, and you have to specify the name of the column. Okay, so I can say B. So entire table has been sorted up with accordance to the B. Okay, the B column. All right, now let us talk about getting the data. Okay, so this was about some basic operations. Okay, so a thought might struck your mind that do I have to remember all of this? No. Okay, you can Google it every time. No one is going to expect you to know everything in pandas because there are a lot of methods and you cannot remember them practically. Please understand it. You can only use a certain functions with practice. Even I refer it many times. Okay, there is no shame in that. Okay, so let us say I want to retrieve a particular column and I want to ignore the rest. So what I'll do is I'll just say df and I'll say c. So it is only going to fetch me the values of the c. Okay, so here it was sorted according to the b, but like I said, it was only limited to this cell. I haven't assigned it to a variable and used that variable. All right, so it is not going to save. Coming back to the topic, so we have when we call it with the c. Similarly, you can use the values. So I can say 0:3 and it is going to give me the first 3 rows. All right, so from the 0th to the 3rd one. So it is to the 3rd one. Okay, not till 3. All right, so it is giving us 0, 1 and 2. After that, we can actually call them in accordance to the date, let's say, so which is actually my index to be precise. So I can say df and then I can say 2021 06 10 colon, I can say 2021 06 11 and we have it. All right, so it is also going to give us according to the, let's say, dates. Now, so this was actually limited to the row to be precise. So now I want to do selection by label. All right, so we have something known as LOC, which is locate. Okay, so I'll say df.loc and I can say, let's say 0. Oops. Okay, so let's say dates and 0. Okay, so it is going to help me fetch the dates from the 0th row. All right, so LOC is actually used to get values when you have them in the row. Okay, it is very, very convenient. Okay, you can use it the way you want and it is extremely efficient. Okay, then I can say df.loc and here I'll specify a colon. All right, a colon. After that, here I'm going to say, let's say a comma b and check the output. Okay, so what it has done is it has said bring me, so rows it doesn't care about. All right, rows it doesn't care about, it only cares about, let's say, the columns. So a and b specifically I am trying to get. Okay, so it is giving me. Similarly, I can also specify rows. So I'll say df.loc and I'll let's say specify dates. So I'll say 2021 06 09 and here I'll say 2021 2021 06 11. All right, so I want from 9 to 11. Then here I'll say comma. All right, here I'll say comma because this is limited to rows. See, this colon is specified to rows and this is for columns. Now I have given it rows. Now I'm going to give it columns. So here I'll say, let's say A comma C, and we have it. So I have the A and Cth column values in accordance to the 9th to 11th of the June. All right. So this is it about the pandas. And what else can we do? Okay, so yeah, one more important functionality that I actually wanted to show you was iloc. Okay, so df.iloc. So this is for integer. It is going to locate everything with respect to integer. Okay, so whenever I say 3, it is going to give me whatever there is in the third row. Similarly, I can say df.iloc, and what I want to do is, let's say from third row to the fifth row, comma, okay, comma, I will have to say fourth over here. So I'll say from second row to the fourth row and from the 0th to the second column, and we have it. Okay, so it is giving me from second row, okay, from second row to the fourth row with 0th to the second column. So it is giving, if I say 3, it is going to give me C. All right. So this is how it actually works. So iloc is very, very important because it gives you a lot of functionality. Let's say if you have the numbers, okay, it is going to give you a very good, I would say, access. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is indexing. All right, so let me make it a markdown. YM. All right, so let me make it a markdown. So I'll say Boolean indexing. So these are some of the methods associated with it. See, pandas has no limitations. Frankly speaking, I can continue it till the end of the night. Okay, I can make this video, let's say, for like 4 or 5 hours, and still I won't be able to teach you every single thing. You have to do exploration by yourself. So from df, I want to extract df.a if greater than 0, and we don't have it. Now what have I actually done? See, whenever I say df.a, I get all the values that are in the a. So what I'm doing is from df, see, I can make it also like this. All right, doesn't matter, just a convention. So these are the two conventions that you can particularly use. So since we don't have any values greater than 0, it is actually giving us nothing. But let us try it again. So here I can say a is greater than 0. All right, so this is the reason we will have to, so string is not supported. That is why I am saying df.a, and we have it. Okay, so if df.a is greater than 0, please give it, otherwise don't give it. Okay, so this is known as the Boolean indexing. Okay, Boolean indexing. So what it is doing is, it is going to give me a lot of values with association with some condition. So either it is going to be true or false. So since this condition was false, particularly over here, it gave us nothing. But here it was true and it gave us all the values. All right. So you can perform a lot of stuff with this. There are no limitations. Please understand it. All right. Okay. So you can work on a similar set of functions. Okay. There are no limitations. Please understand it. All right, so this was some of the basic pandas, and what else can we do? Okay, you can actually convert this into let's say CSV or JSONs. All right, you can work with that also. So you can also drop, okay, you can also check some values. So I can say df is null. Okay, so it is saying false because we don't have any null values. Okay, and then we can say df.find na. I think that is the method. Find na, or I think there is isna. I think that is isna. Yeah, it is. Okay, so there is null. There are no null values, and there are no nan values. Okay, so isna is the method that we can use. Okay, after that some common methods like df.mean. So describe actually gives you everything, but particularly we can check it like this. Okay, so df.mean, and there is df.median. I think median is there available with it. Yeah, median is also there, so we can get mean, median, and mode, and all of those things. Okay, so and after that you can apply some functions on it. And last one I want to tell you is you can convert it. So df dot, let's say or I think it is pd. So pd dot to JSON, I think that is the method, and here I can say df. Okay, so I'm passing it df actually, or I think actually keep forgetting the syntax. So that is the reason I told you can Google it, because it is very hard to remember. Okay, so I think it is to JSON, and let's say new dot JSON, and it worked. Okay, so now let us check it in the directory itself. I think ls is going to work. Yeah, we have it, and we have it. Okay, so we have new.json in it. Okay, so this ls is basically a Linux command. You can perform a lot of Linux commands over here, and it is going to give you better outputs. Okay, so you can also check let's say the present working directory, or you can change directories from here using the Linux commands, and we have it. Okay, so new.json is there. Similarly, we can also perform, let's say, df.toCSV, and we can make a comma separated value. So let's say new csv.csv, and we have it. And now let's say ls, and we have it. Okay, so there is new csv.csv. And similarly, you can read it also. So let's say CSV data, that is a new variable I'm making, and here I'll say pd.read underscore CSV, and in this I'll say new csv.csv, and here I'll say CSV underscore data, and we have it. We have it. Alright, so here it says unnamed because I haven't specified the index. You can do that here as well. Okay, so this is about the pandas. Okay, so this particular notebook will be available to you. Similarly, I'll try to find the pandas documentation and try to link it. Okay, so it is very good and efficient. Please work on that, because see, there are a lot of methods. I seriously cannot cover each and every single thing because this video is going to be very long. Okay, so you can only learn this by practicing. Please understand this. You cannot learn this by just memorizing. It is impossible. Even I Google a lot of stuff. I always what I'll do is I'll say pandas documentation. I'll say pandas documentation like this, and I'll just Google it. So here, and I'll just say if I want. Okay, so there is user guide, there is API reference, etc. So if we check over here, you can come to know each and every single thing. Okay, here are tutorials and everything. So API reference is over here. All right, see, I have everything. When I click on the data frame, I can get everything related to the data frame. See, all of the methods are over here. You don't have to specifically memorize everything, like I said. Okay, see, LOC is over here, iloc is over here. Okay, here are a lot of, so this comes under indexing and iteration. Then there is binary operator function like add, multiply, division, floor. See, these methods are impossible to teach. Okay, and these are very easy. So teaching them doesn't make any sense practically, if you'll ask me. All right, so that really doesn't make any sense. So keeping that in mind, this is about the today's tutorial, and I hope you might have learned something or the other in the next tutorials. Even I don't know what I'm going to teach, but this is it. So if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and share the video as much as you can with the people who actually want to learn some good stuff in their college. All right, so thank you for watching. Goodbye.